So when we trade Forex, what we're actually trading is the value fluctuation between two currencies. So when you trade Forex, you don't just buy Canadian dollars and then sell it later on. You have to sell it in relation to another currency. So when we're trading financial markets from the Forex side, Forex meaning foreign exchange, you're changing you're trading the value change between the exchange rate between one currency and another currency. So CAD, Canadian dollar, JPY, Japanese yen. So when we're looking at the CAD JPY market, we're seeing the value change between the two of them, and it's that fluctuation which we're trading. So yes, this particular strategy, called the pullback strategy, was setting up across multiple JPY pairs, and what we mean by that is multiple currencies linked with the JPY. So that's naturally going to happen when you've got something very strong happening with a particular currency. Yes, it's linked with our other currencies, but that value change is looking very similar, not identical, but very similar across some of them. So there's a reason why we didn't trade every single currency pair, which includes JPY, but we did trade a number of them because they were setting up on this strategy. So the strategy itself needs to have one of our core components, and we're kind of letting people into some trade secrets here.
Yeah,
so
it's very exciting.
Yeah, they should
take note.
Take note. Yeah, get your pen and paper out for this. So one of the core components that we need for the pullback strategy is a trending market. So a trending market is where we're creating higher highs and higher lows. A higher high meaning it's just made a high point above the previous high point. Lower high is or higher low rather in this context because we're moving up. The higher low is lower than the previous high but higher than the previous low, so higher low. And then we continue to see this pattern occur. It's kind of like a stepping up the market, like it's going up some stairs. And that's a pattern we look for. When we found that pattern, what we want to then have is a really clear form of support and resistance, meaning we've got other points in the market around the point the market is right now, where it's also responded in a way which suggests the market's going to want to continue moving in the same direction, so continue to move with that trend. So we need to have that, and we also need to have a candle in place which is at the point of that intersection of the support and resistance and our trend, is also suggesting movement in the same direction. So in this example, upward direction. And then we also have one other component, which is our MACD, and the MACD has to also be giving us supporting evidence, and if it's not, then we can't take the trade because we've not got one of our criteria. And sometimes we actually get the question is like, how are you able to teach people to become successful so quickly? And it's because we are so clear on those criteria. So once we've taught them all of those criteria and we've taught them how to bring them all together, they know exactly what they're looking for, and that's why we can trade for less than 30 minutes a day. So the reason this week was so exciting is because that strategy was lining up beautifully, almost textbook, across multiple different pairs, currency pairs in the markets, most of which were JPY associated.
Yeah, I think there were 5. Were there 4 or 5?
There was 5, yeah.
There were 5, and a couple of them didn't quite fit the criteria, right? Because you've got all these other things that you're layering on. So some traders took 4, some people took 3, some people took 2.
Yeah.
Some people's risk was a little bit higher or lower than others.
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of discussing it. And then the next day it moved quite quickly up, didn't it?
Yeah.
So most people's target was hit literally the next day.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in my limited experience, some trades take a day, some take a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
So this was quick and quite big.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. And everyone was saying, I got to win on this one. I got to win on this one. I got to win on this one. It was just going ping, ping, ping.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It is amazing. And I think one of the things which is really exciting is me and the coaching team will intentionally kind of sit back from those initial conversations around trades. And the reason we do that is partly because we are all about empowering people, so we don't want to lead them down a particular garden path. We want them to be able to make decisions for themselves, but the community are talking about where they're seeing opportunity. So it's quite exciting for us to see a whole group of people identifying correct opportunities, safe opportunities in the market, and then going for it. That's really, really exciting. Really, really exciting.
Yeah. So I think 2 of mine won on day 1. and 2 of them are continuing a couple of days later, which
Yeah.
is super exciting.
Yeah.
They're going the right way.
They're going the right way.
And I remember one person commented in the group in the morning, had a nice win on this currency. No, they commented in the afternoon, I had a great win this morning on this. And someone went, I had an even better win this afternoon on it, because they'd put their targets slightly higher.
Yeah.
So the afternoon came and pushed it up a bit more, so they got a bit more margin out of it.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And it kind of just proves it. It proves this model, because everyone had learnt the same strategy. Everyone had seen it come in. Everyone had done similar targets. And it was just going ping, ping, ping at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's really cool.
And I think people may be listening to this and thinking, oh, why didn't they all have exactly the same target? And it's because trading is a bit of a blend of science and art form. So everyone had the science correct, and certain people brought their own artistic expression, so to speak. And really that comes down to how bold you want to be with a target, how safe you want to be with a target, how tight you want to be with your risk, and those types of things. So there is always a little bit of wiggle room. I'm quite a risk-averse trader, so I will often take a more guaranteed win on a trade than a different trader who will probably get a higher percentage win on that trade, and maybe over a period of time have a better percentage. But the type of trader I am, I'm very happy to leave that profit on the table to be safe and secure and feel very comfortable with the profits that I have made.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
very
you
happy
won
to
in
do
the
that.
morning.
I won in the morning, yes. I was a
Yeah.
morning winner, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what was really beautiful was just the community winning together.
Yeah.
Because you could, at some point, I guess some people leave the community if they've traded for a while or they've
Yeah.
finished their mentorship. A lot of people stay in it, don't they?
Yeah.
Because it's so good. And just to have that support and the championship of each other. And also, my family and friends don't have a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like when I'm 10 o'clock at night looking at these charts, they're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And if you say to them, I've had some good trades, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But the community just get it.